Ladies, if you're watching this video, chances are something in your gut is telling you that something isn't quite right about the man you're seeing or considering dating. And you know what? That feeling in your stomach, that little voice in your head, it's probably trying to save you from making a devastating mistake. I'm here to talk about something that far too many incredible, intelligent, accomplished women over 50 are experiencing right now. You've lived through decades of life experience. You've raised children, built careers, weathered storms, and emerged stronger. You're not naive. You're not foolish. But somehow, you might find yourself questioning your own judgment when it comes to modern dating. Here's what I want you to understand right from the start. Predatory men specifically target older women, and they do it for very calculated reasons. They're not looking for love. They're looking for someone to exploit. And unfortunately, many of the beautiful qualities that make you an amazing woman, your nurturing nature, your generosity, your desire to see the best in people, your financial stability, these same qualities can make you a target. But here's the good news. Once you know what to look for, these manipulative tactics become as obvious as a neon sign in the dark. You'll wonder how you ever missed them. And that's exactly what we're going to accomplish together in the next 40 minutes. We're going to dive deep into the specific phrases, behaviors, and red flags that should have you running, not walking, away from any man who exhibits them. We're going to talk about the psychology behind why these tactics work, how to trust your intuition again, and most importantly, how to find genuine, healthy love that honors and respects who you are. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's talk about how to protect your heart, your resources, and your future from men who see you not as a partner, but as a target. The psychology behind targeting. Older women. Before we jump into the specific red flags, I need you to understand something crucial. You are not being targeted because you're weak, desperate, or foolish. You're being targeted because predatory men see older women as the perfect combination of desirable traits. Think about it from their twisted perspective. Women over 50 often have financial stability. You've had decades to build savings, own property, receive inheritance, or have steady retirement income. You've developed nurturing instincts through years of caring for others. You may be recently divorced or widowed, which means you might be feeling lonely or vulnerable. You're often more trusting because you come from an era where people's word meant something. Many older women are also dealing with what I call invisibility syndrome. Society has made you feel like your dating days are over, so when a man shows interest, it can feel incredibly validating. This makes you more likely to overlook red flags that you would have spotted immediately when you were younger. Manipulative men study these patterns. They know exactly what buttons to push, what vulnerabilities to exploit, and what dreams to tap into. They're not stumbling into these behaviors by accident. They're deliberately using psychological tactics that have been refined through practice on other women just like you. Understanding this isn't meant to make you paranoid or cynical. It's meant to arm you with knowledge so you can spot these tactics immediately and protect yourself. Because here's what I know about you. You deserve genuine love, respect, and partnership, not manipulation and exploitation. Number 1. Excessive. Flattery and love bombing. The first major red flag to watch for is what psychologists call love bombing. And it's probably not what you think. Love bombing isn't just someone being romantic or attentive. It's excessive, overwhelming, and most importantly, it happens way too fast. Here's what love bombing looks like in the context of targeting older women. He might say things like, "I've never met a woman as wise and beautiful as you. You're so different from all the other women I've dated, you actually have substance. I can't believe someone as incredible as you is still single. You're the answer to all my prayers." Now, I want to be clear. Genuine compliments are wonderful and should be part of any healthy relationship. But love bombing is different because of its intensity and timing. A man who barely knows you shouldn't be talking about how you're his soulmate after 3 dates. He shouldn't be declaring love after 2 weeks. He shouldn't be making grand statements about your future together before he even knows your favorite color. Love bombers also use what I call artificial intimacy. They'll share deeply personal stories about their childhood trauma, their ex-wife, and their struggles, not because they trust you, but because it creates a false sense of closeness. They're essentially tricking your brain into feeling like you've known them much longer than you have. Pay attention to the language they use. Love bombers often speak in absolutes. You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. I've never felt this way about anyone. You're perfect. Real, healthy relationships develop gradually, with compliments that are specific and genuine rather than over-the-top and generic. Another aspect of love bombing that targets older women specifically is the age-related flattery. He might constantly tell you how much more mature and interesting you are than younger women, how he's tired of girls and wants a real woman. This isn't a compliment. It's a manipulation tactic designed to make you feel special and chosen. Here's your test. If someone's interest feels too good to be true, if the compliments feel excessive, if the progression feels unnaturally fast, trust that feeling. Genuine love develops over time as two people get to know each other's real selves, flaws and all. Number 2, financial pressure and money talk. This is perhaps the most dangerous red flag for older women, and it's often the most subtle at first. Financial predators who target mature women are incredibly sophisticated in how they approach money conversations. It might start innocuously. He mentions he's between jobs, or having a temporary financial setback, or dealing with some business complications. He's not asking for money. Oh no, he would never do that. He's just sharing what's going on in his life. This is the setup phase. Then comes the testing phase. He might forget his wallet when you're out to dinner and let you pay, promising to get the next one. But somehow there's always a reason why he can't. Or he might make comments about how nice it must be to be financially secure, how he admires your independence, and how he wishes he could provide for you the way you deserve. Here are some specific phrases that should immediately put you on high alert. I hate that I can't spoil you the way I want to. Once my business deal goes through, I'm going to take you on the trip of a lifetime. I would never ask you for money, but you're so generous and understanding. I'm not used to dating someone so successful. The sophisticated financial predator doesn't ask for large sums immediately. He starts small. Maybe he needs help with a phone bill, or his card was declined at the grocery store, or he's short on rent this month, but his big commission check is coming next week. These small requests serve two purposes. They test your willingness to help, and they normalize the pattern of you giving him money. Watch out for men who seem very interested in your financial situation early in the relationship. They ask detailed questions about your retirement, your property, and your investments, but they frame it as caring about your security and future together. A genuine partner will be interested in your financial compatibility eventually, but not in the specific details of your assets during the early dating phase. Be especially wary of any man who suggests combining finances quickly, who talks about you helping him get back on his feet, or who has elaborate stories about money that's coming to him soon. Real financial stability doesn't come with dramatic stories. It comes with consistent, verifiable income and responsible money management. Number 3, isolation from family and friends. Isolation is one of the most insidious tactics that manipulative men use, and it's particularly effective against older women who may already be dealing with smaller social circles due to retirement, loss of friends, or children living far away. The isolation process is gradual and often disguised as romantic attention. It starts with him wanting to spend all his time with you. I just love being with you so much, he'll say. Why would we want to be around other people when we could be together? This sounds romantic, but it's actually the beginning of cutting. you off from your support system. He'll start making subtle negative comments about your friends and family. Your sister seems a little jealous of our relationship. I noticed your friend Sarah was pretty rude to me. I don't think she wants you to be happy. Your kids seem like they're just worried about their inheritance. These comments are designed to plant seeds of doubt about the people who care about you most. Manipulative men are particularly skilled at identifying and exploiting existing family tensions. If you've mentioned that you and your daughter don't always see eye to eye, he'll amplify that conflict. She doesn't appreciate everything you do for her. You deserve better treatment from your own family. At least you have me, someone who truly values you. He might also create scheduling conflicts that prevent you from seeing others. Suddenly, every family gathering coincides with something special he has planned. Every time your friends want to get together, he has a crisis or needs your support. He doesn't forbid you from seeing people, that would be too obvious. Instead, he makes it difficult or emotionally costly to maintain other relationships. Pay attention to how he talks about your independent activities and relationships. Does he support your friendships and encourage you to maintain them? Or does he always have a reason why spending time with others is less important than being with him? Does he respect your need for independence, or does he make you feel guilty for wanting time apart? A healthy partner wants you to have strong relationships with family and friends. He understands that these connections make you happier and more fulfilled, which benefits your relationship with him. A manipulative man sees your other relationships as competition for your attention, resources, and loyalty. Number 4. Inconsistent stories and gaslighting. One of the most emotionally damaging tactics that predatory men use is gaslighting, making you question your own memory, perception, and sanity. For older women, this can be particularly devastating because we're already dealing with societal messages that suggest our cognitive abilities are declining with age. Gaslighting often starts with inconsistent stories about his past, his work, his family, or his circumstances. He tells you he was married once, then later mentions his second divorce. He says he has 2 children, then refers to his 3 kids. He claims to work in real estate, but his knowledge about the industry seems limited. When you point out these inconsistencies, he has explanations that make you feel like you misunderstood or misremembered. I never said that. You're remembering wrong. I think you're getting confused. That's not what happened. These phrases should set off alarm bells, especially when you're certain of what you heard or experienced. Sophisticated gaslighters use a technique called selective truth-telling. They'll share some accurate, verifiable information about themselves, which makes their lies more believable. They might show you real photos of their house but lie about owning it. They might introduce you to actual friends but misrepresent their relationship history. Watch for men who seem to have amnesia about promises they've made or plans they've committed to. I don't remember saying I'd call you Tuesday. I never agreed to meet your daughter. You must have misunderstood. I said I might be free this weekend, not that we definitely had plans. Gaslighting becomes particularly dangerous when it involves your feelings and reactions. He'll do something hurtful, then tell you you're overreacting, being too sensitive or imagining things. You're being dramatic. I was just joking. You're too uptight. You're reading too much into this. Other women would appreciate what I do for you. Here's what I need you to understand. Your memory is fine. Your perception is accurate. Your feelings are valid. If someone's stories don't add up, if their behavior doesn't match their words, if you feel like you're constantly confused or questioning yourself around them, that's not your problem. That's their manipulation. Start keeping notes if you need to. Write down what he tells you, what promises he makes, and what plans you discuss. Trust your instincts when something doesn't feel right. Your intuition has been honed by decades of life experience. Don't let anyone convince you to ignore it. Number 5. rushed intimacy, and commitment predatory. Men understand that older women often have less time to waste on relationships that aren't going anywhere, and they use this against you by creating artificial urgency around intimacy and commitment. This shows up in several ways. First, there's emotional intimacy rushing. Within the first few dates, he's sharing deeply personal information and expecting you to do the same. He talks about his childhood trauma, his failed marriages, and his deepest fears, not because he trusts you, but because he wants to create a false sense of closeness. He might say things like, "I feel like I can tell you anything. I've never opened up to someone this quickly before. There's something special about you that makes me want to share everything." This isn't romantic. It's a calculated move to make you feel uniquely special and trusted. Physical intimacy is another area where predators apply pressure. They might not be overtly aggressive, but they create emotional pressure around physical boundaries. "I understand you want to take things slow, but when you really love someone, I just feel so connected to you. I've never wanted anyone the way I want you." The commitment rush is perhaps the most dangerous aspect. He starts talking about your future together unrealistically early. "I can't wait to introduce you to my family. We should take a trip together. I'm already thinking about where we'll spend next Christmas. You're going to love my hometown." He might even start making unilateral decisions about your relationship, referring to himself as your boyfriend before you've had that conversation, talking about you moving in together, making assumptions about how you'll spend holidays or handle finances. These aren't signs of enthusiasm. They're attempts to lock you into commitment before you've had time to truly evaluate the relationship. Pay attention to men who seem to have a timeline for your relationship that doesn't match your comfort level. Healthy relationships develop at a pace that works for both people, with both partners feeling comfortable and respected throughout the process. A genuine partner will respect your boundaries around intimacy and commitment. He'll understand that real trust and love take time to develop. He won't pressure you to share more than you're comfortable with, move faster than you want to, or commit before you're ready. The most dangerous phrases to watch for now. I want to share with you the specific phrases and statements that should have you running for the hills. These are carefully crafted sentences that manipulative men use to exploit older women's vulnerabilities, and once you recognize them, you'll never be fooled by them again. "You're not like other women your age." This seems like a compliment, but it's actually designed to make you feel special, while simultaneously putting down other women and playing into ageist stereotypes. A man who truly respects older women doesn't need to put others down to compliment you. "I don't usually date women your age, but there's something different about you." This is another backhanded compliment that suggests he's doing you a favor by being interested in you. "No, thank you. You're so much more interesting than younger women." While this might feel good to hear, it's often a setup for future manipulation. He's categorizing women by age and playing into your insecurities. About aging and desirability, "I wish I had met you years ago." This creates artificial regret and urgency. It suggests that time is running out and you should be grateful for this opportunity. "You understand me in a way no one else ever has." This is classic love bombing, designed to make you feel uniquely special and chosen. Real understanding develops over time through shared experiences and genuine communication. "I've never told anyone this before, but..." followed by some deeply personal revelation. This creates artificial intimacy and makes you feel trusted and special, but it's often a manipulation tactic. "You're too good for me." This seems humble, but it's actually a way of getting you to reassure him and lower your standards. A confident, genuine man doesn't need constant reassurance about his worth. "I don't want to burden you with my problems, but..." followed by detailed financial or personal troubles. This creates a sense that you're his confidant while subtly asking for help or sympathy. Your family doesn't appreciate you. Your friends don't deserve you. You give so much and get so little back. These statements are designed to isolate you from your support system by making you question these relationships. I would never ask you for money, but this is always followed by a request for money, creating the illusion that he's reluctant to ask while still making the request. You're the answer to my prayers. I've been waiting my whole life for someone like you. You're my miracle. This is excessive flattery designed to make you feel like you have a special role or purpose in his life. I know this seems fast, but when you know, you know. This is used to pressure you into commitments or decisions before you've had adequate time to evaluate the relationship. You're being paranoid. You're overthinking this. You're too suspicious. These phrases are used when you raise concerns or questions and are designed to make you doubt your own judgment. How to trust your intuition. Again. One of the most devastating effects of manipulation is that it damages your ability to trust your own instincts. After being gaslit, love-bombed, or emotionally manipulated, many women find themselves second-guessing every feeling and doubt. But I want you to know that your intuition is still there, and it's still powerful. Your intuition is the accumulation of decades of life experience, pattern recognition, and emotional intelligence. It's the part of you that can sense when something is off, even when you can't articulate exactly what it is. Manipulative men work hard to disconnect you from this inner wisdom because they know it's their biggest threat. Here's how to start rebuilding trust in your own judgment. First, pay attention to your physical responses. Your body often knows something is wrong before your mind catches up. Do you feel tense or anxious around this person? Does your stomach feel unsettled after spending time with them? Do you find yourself exhausted after conversations that should be energizing? These physical responses are data. Don't ignore them. Start keeping a relationship journal. Write down your feelings, observations, and concerns. Note when something feels off, even if you can't explain why. Over time, you'll start to see patterns and trust your perceptions more. Practice distinguishing between your anxiety and your intuition. Anxiety often feels chaotic and unfocused. You might worry about many different scenarios. Intuition, on the other hand, tends to be specific and consistent. It's the quiet voice that says, "Something isn't right about this particular thing." Give yourself permission to have standards and boundaries. You don't need a reason that would hold up in court to end a relationship or refuse a request. "I don't feel comfortable with this" is a complete sentence and a valid reason for any decision you make about your life. Remember that genuine love feels peaceful, not chaotic. While new relationships naturally involve some nervousness and excitement, you shouldn't feel like you're constantly on edge or walking on eggshells. Healthy relationships provide comfort and security, not constant drama and uncertainty. Trust the wisdom you've gained from your life experiences. You've seen enough people and situations to recognize patterns of behavior. You know the difference between someone who's temporarily struggling and someone who's chronically irresponsible. You can distinguish between someone who's genuinely interested in you and someone who's performing interest for their own gain. Building healthy boundaries. Boundaries aren't walls, they're gates with hinges and locks that you control. For older women who are dating, boundaries are essential protection against manipulation and exploitation. Let's talk about how to establish and maintain healthy boundaries that protect your heart, your resources, and your dignity. Financial boundaries are absolutely crucial. Here are some non-negotiable rules. Never give money to someone you've been dating for less than a year, and even then, only in extreme circumstances with clear repayment terms. Never provide access to your bank accounts, credit cards, or financial information. Never co-sign loans or make major financial commitments with someone you're not married to. Never let someone pressure you into financial decisions with urgency. Real opportunities can wait for you to think them through. Emotional boundaries are equally important. You don't owe anyone your personal history just because they share theirs. You don't have to comfort someone through every crisis, especially early in a relationship. You don't have to accept disrespectful treatment because someone is having a bad day. Your feelings and reactions are valid, and you don't need to justify them to anyone. Physical boundaries should be obvious but often get complicated by emotional manipulation. You never have to do anything physical that makes you uncomfortable, regardless of how long you've been dating or what you've done before. Your comfort level can change, and that's perfectly normal and acceptable. Time boundaries protect your independence and other relationships. You don't have to be available 24/7. You don't have to cancel plans with friends and family every time he wants to see you. You don't have to spend every weekend together. Maintaining your own interests, friendships, and activities isn't selfish. It's healthy. Communication boundaries include not having to respond to texts immediately, not having to explain your whereabouts constantly, and not having to justify your decisions to someone you're dating. You also have the right to disagree, to express concerns, and to ask questions without being labeled as difficult or high maintenance. Here's how to enforce boundaries. Be clear and direct about what you will and won't accept. Don't over-explain or justify your boundaries. They don't need to make sense to anyone but you. Follow through with appropriate consequences when boundaries are crossed. Remember that someone who truly cares about you will respect your boundaries, even if they don't understand them. Watch out for people who test your boundaries to see what they can get away with. Boundary testing often starts small, showing up unannounced, calling when you've said you're busy, and making small financial requests. Someone who respects you will apologize and adjust their behavior when you point out a boundary violation. Someone who argues, makes excuses, or continues the behavior is showing you that they don't respect you. Finding genuine love after 50. After all this talk about red flags and manipulation, you might be wondering if it's even possible to find genuine, healthy love later in life. The answer is absolutely yes, but it requires a different approach than what you might have used in your 20s or 30s. First, let's talk about what genuine love looks like at this stage of life. It's not the passionate, all-consuming romance of youth. It's deeper, more stable, and more intentional. It's built on mutual respect, shared values, and genuine compatibility rather than just chemistry and attraction. A genuine partner at this stage of life will be interested in who you really are, your thoughts, your experiences, your wisdom, and your quirks. He won't try to change you or mold you into someone else. He'll appreciate the full package of who you are, including your independence and life experience. He'll have his own established life, interests, and support system. He won't be looking for you to complete him or solve his problems. Instead, he'll be looking for someone to share his already fulfilling life with. This is actually a good thing. It means he's choosing you because he wants you, not because he needs you. Genuine love develops gradually and naturally. There's no rushing or pressure. Conversations flow naturally from surface topics to deeper ones as trust builds over time. Physical intimacy progresses at a pace that feels comfortable for both of you. Commitment discussions happen when both people are ready, not according to some artificial timeline. A genuine partner will encourage your other relationships and interests. He'll want to meet your friends and family because they're important to you. He'll support your hobbies, your independence, and your personal growth. He understands that the things that make you happy outside of your relationship with him actually strengthen your relationship. He'll be financially responsible and transparent. You won't have to guess about his financial situation or worry about supporting him. He'll be able to contribute equally to shared expenses and activities. Money conversations will be straightforward and pressure-free. Communication will be honest and direct. You won't have to guess what he's thinking or feeling. He'll be able to discuss problems and disagreements respectfully without resorting to manipulation or emotional blackmail. He'll be interested in resolving conflicts, not winning arguments. Most importantly, being with him will feel peaceful and energizing, not draining and chaotic. You'll feel more like yourself around him, not less. You'll feel supported and appreciated, not constantly criticized or made to feel inadequate. Ladies, we've covered a lot of ground today, and I know some of it might feel overwhelming or even frightening. But I want you to remember something crucial. Knowledge is power. Every single thing we've discussed today is designed to empower you to make better choices and protect yourself from those who would take advantage of your kindness, wisdom, and resources. You are not broken if you've fallen for some of these tactics before. You are not foolish if you've ignored red flags in the past. You are not too old, too damaged, or too set in your ways to find genuine love. You are a woman with decades of life experience, wisdom, and strength. You deserve a partner who sees and appreciates all of that. Let's talk about your action steps moving forward. First, if you're currently in a relationship that exhibits multiple red flags we've discussed today, please take some time to honestly evaluate the situation. Consider talking to a trusted friend, family member, or counselor who can provide an outside perspective. Remember, it's never too late to prioritize your well-being and make changes. If you're single and dating, use this information as a screening tool. Don't ignore red flags hoping they'll go away or that you can change someone. Trust your instincts when something feels off. Take things slowly, and don't let anyone pressure you into moving faster than you're comfortable with. Create a support system of people who have your best interests at heart. This might include friends, family members, a therapist, or a support group. Having people you can talk to honestly about your relationships provides crucial perspective and protection against isolation tactics. Work on building your confidence and self-worth outside of romantic relationships. Pursue interests that bring you joy. Maintain friendships that energize you, and engage in activities that make you feel accomplished and fulfilled. The more secure and happy you are on your own, the less likely you are to settle for treatment that's beneath you. Educate yourself about healthy relationship dynamics. Read books, attend workshops, or work with a counselor to understand what genuine love and respect look like. Many of us learned relationship skills decades ago and may need to update our understanding for modern dating. Practice setting and maintaining boundaries in all areas of your life, not just romantic relationships. The stronger you become at advocating for yourself with family, friends, and colleagues, the easier it will be to maintain boundaries with romantic partners. Most importantly, don't give up on love. The right person, someone who will genuinely appreciate and respect you, is out there. But they're not going to find you if you're wasting your time and energy on someone who's playing games or taking advantage of you. Remember, you have the right to be choosy. You have the right to have standards. You have the right to walk away from anyone who doesn't treat you with the respect and kindness you deserve. You've earned the wisdom to recognize what you will and won't accept, and the courage to act on that wisdom. Your time is precious, your heart is valuable, your resources are worth protecting. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and share it with any woman in your life who might benefit from hearing this message. We need to look out for each other and share information that keeps us safe and empowered. In the comments below, I'd love to hear from you, but please be mindful about sharing personal details. If you've recognized some of these red flags in your own experiences, just knowing you're not alone can be incredibly healing. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss our content about creating healthy, fulfilling relationships at every stage of life. We regularly share tips about dating, self-care, boundaries, and building the life you deserve. If you're struggling with a relationship situation and need professional support, please consider reaching out to a counselor or therapist in your area. There's no shame in getting help. In fact, it's one of the smartest things you can do for yourself. Remember, You are worthy of genuine love, respect, and partnership. Trust your instincts, maintain your boundaries, and never settle for less than you deserve. You've got this, and I'm rooting for you. Until next time, take care of yourself. And remember, your wisdom, your experience, and your heart are gifts that should be treasured, not exploited.